over 70% win percentage in our last 2 days. Hopefully we can go ahead and keep. Yo, what is going on, you guys? It's your boy King Sanders here, and we are back with another day of sports betting. This is going to be for Monday, September 19th slate of NFL action. I'm super excited to dive into it. We actually have a double header on here on a Monday, which is definitely not something that normally happens, obviously. Definitely going to be fun. Definitely have two pretty decent games, so I'm super excited to talk about those. But before we did, I did just want to go ahead and say that we are still currently on the road to 7,000 subscribers. So if you guys are new, make sure that you guys do like, comment, subscribe. And if I've been helping you guys win a little bit of money, make sure you guys do hit that sub button. If we do end up hitting 7,000 subscribers by the time that the NBA season does start, I will be doing a pretty big giveaway as well. So make sure that you guys are in tune for that. Next, I did just want to go ahead and give a quick shout out here to all of our members here on the channel. Thank you guys so much for everything that you guys do. And thank you guys so much for giving such a small channel such a big chance, as I always say. It truly does mean the absolute world to me, so much more than you guys will ever know. And as you guys can see, yes, I'm back home. The lighting looks a little bit weird. I'm going to have to definitely work with that, but for right now, I'm not really going to worry about it. It's late. Just got home from a 12.5-hour drive. I'm just ready to record this video, edit it, go to bed. So definitely didn't have a whole lot of time to be looking at the lighting and stuff like that. So hopefully it changes. I'm not really sure what's going on with that, but without any further ado, I did end up finding 3 plays that I did really like for this slate of Monday Night Football. I found one spread that I liked, and I found one player prop that I liked, and I also did like one over-under. So hopefully we can go ahead and find some winners here. But before we did, just a quick word here from our sponsor. This video is brought to you by PrizePicks. If you guys don't currently have a sports book that you do use, or if you do have one and you're just looking for something new, PrizePicks is a great way to get started. As you guys can see here on the screen, we are able to bet on pretty much every single sport that you can think of. We have MLB, we have the NFL as of right now is the preseason, we have college football, we even have things like CSGO and some esports as well. And obviously, as you guys know, I'm a huge NBA guy, so once the NBA season does come around, you guys will be able to bet on player props from there as well. PrizePicks is very, very easy to use. I do love the no-run first innings, and that is something that you can go ahead and bet on here on PrizePicks as well. It's an absolutely fantastic app and website as well. So if you guys haven't already signed up for PrizePicks, make sure that you guys do that and use code KingSanders, and you can go ahead and get a deposit match bonus of up to $100. So the way that it does work is you go ahead and pick a couple here. So I'm just going to, for the sake of the video, say that the White Sox and the Orioles tomorrow are going to have a no-run first inning. The Toronto and Boston and the Cincinnati and Philadelphia are all going to have no-run first inning. Basically what I would do, I would go ahead and click less for all of these and do what is called a power play, which is basically the same as a parlay. All 3 legs do have to hit in order for the bet to actually cash out. On the flip side of things, you can also do a flex play. The flex play basically means if you do get one of the legs wrong, that's perfectly fine. You can still win some money. So PrizePicks is a great way to be able to win some money using player props and things of that nature to be able to win some money. So you can put together a bunch of different legs to win out some pretty big money. So once again, make sure you guys do use code KingSanders for whenever you do sign up. You will get a deposit match bonus of up to $100. And once again, thank you so much, PrizePicks, for sponsoring today's video. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, we actually ended up having a pretty good day yesterday. We just about brought out the brooms. We ended up losing on one play. That one play really wasn't too close, so I guess I can't really say we almost did it, but we ended up going 3-1 on our picks yesterday. That's a pretty good day if you ask me. Ended up going 75% on our plays. So let's go ahead and do a quick recap. The one loss that we did end up having, we did have the Buccaneers and the Saints over 44 points. I guess I just thought it was going to be a lot more high scoring than it was. I feel like both these offenses definitely could have scored points, but they just couldn't. I guess in a division rivalry game. Wow, in a divisional rivalry game, they just both teams decided to just lock down. So, it is what it is. Then we did have the Cowboys +7 versus the Bengals. They ended up winning outright. It was a very, very good game for sure. But the Cowboys ended up getting things done, covering for us. easily. And then we did have the Patriots and the Steelers under 40.5. Both these teams decided to score points a little bit in the second half, but it was already too late. They barely scored in the first half, so we ended up hitting that one as well. Then we did have, and which was my favorite play, by the way. And if you guys do want my favorite play every day, I do normally put it in my videos as well, but just in case you guys do want a definitive favorite play, I do put it on my Twitter usually as well. So make sure you guys are following that. But I did also have the Commanders and the Lions over 48 points at -110 odds. This one also ended up working out for us. The Lions looked absolutely fantastic, and I was a little bit worried at the beginning of the game because in the first half, the Lions were the only team to score. They put up like 24 points, I believe, or somewhere around that range. They looked really, really solid. But then the Commanders decided to come in and actually, take care of business and score some points, and the over hit easily. But the Lions looked absolutely fantastic. So they may be a future bet, that's for sure, for a couple of these next upcoming spreads. But so we ended up going 3-1 on our plays. We have actually been really solid in the last 2 days. We ended up going 2-1 on Thursday Night Football, and then 3-1 today. So let's go ahead and finish out the week with another winning day. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and dive into our first play, which is going to be Vikings and the Eagles over 50 points at -110 odds. Now look, this over-under is set high, and I believe that it's set high for a reason. A lot of people are going to be on the under, and I get it, rightfully so. The over-under is really, really high. But the Vikings actually looked really solid in Week 1. They got a very commanding win versus the Packers with by putting up 23 points versus Green Bay. And they actually did pass the ball quite a bit, which normally, if you guys have been around here for a while, if there's a team that does pass a lot, I really do normally like the over. 32 pass attempts here for the Vikings. And the Vikings really didn't play tremendous defense. Like, I know if you look at it, they only allowed 9 points from Aaron Rodgers, but they gave up 227 passing yards and 111 rushing yards. So it's not like they completely shut out the Packers. The Packers really just couldn't find their way into the end zone. That is a recipe for an over for me. The defense really didn't look too great. And the way that the Eagles play, they normally run a lot of trick plays here for a guy like Jalen Hurts. So I think that with giving up that 111 rushing yards, I do think that Jalen Hurts can find his way into the end zone for sure. And speaking of Jalen Hurts, he is really doing almost everything here for this Eagles offense. Last week, he did have 32 pass attempts and 17 rush attempts. So he's really doing it on both the running and the passing game. He's been really, really solid here. And the Eagles, they give up 205 passing yards, and 181 rushing yards here to the Lions, which I said looked really, really good. I know that they looked very solid, but they still gave up a lot of yards there, a lot of points. I think the final score was like 38-35, so they gave up 35 points here to the Lions. And I think that the Vikings can sort of duplicate that. If they can really start to get their offense going, I think that they can go ahead and get 28-30 points for sure. And Jalen Hurts, his over-under for passing yards is 239.5. And Kirk Cousins is 279.5. So both these over-unders are pretty high for the passing totals, but the passing touchdowns for over 1.5 is their line for both quarterbacks. Both of them are boosted to the over. So I think that this is going to be a game where we're going to see quite a good number of touchdowns for sure. I think that it is going to be a very high-scoring game. So that's going to be our first play today. Vikings and the Eagles over 50 points at -110 odds. Now for our second play of the day, we're going to be taking Ryan Tannehill under 9.5 rush yards here versus Buffalo at -110 odds. Now if you take a look at it, in Week 1, the Bills held Matthew Stafford to 1 rush attempt for only 2 yards. Now, I know that the play styles aren't exactly the same between Tannehill and Stafford, but both these quarterbacks don't necessarily love to run the ball a whole lot, and that's why I do like a line at like 9.5. I feel like that's a little bit too high. And Rams, as of last week, they ran the ball 18 times in Week 1, and the Bills only gave up a total of 52 rushing yards. So they are an absolutely elite rush defense this year. So hopefully they can go ahead and keep that going here for us. And Tannehill last week, he only had 2 rushes for a total of 7 yards, and that was versus the Giants, who definitely don't have nearly as great of a defense as the Bills. So hopefully it can go ahead and work out for us. And the over-under is set to 47.5, which in my opinion is pretty high. It's decently high. So I feel like there's going to be a lot of passing in this game. Not necessarily a whole lot of rushing. But so hopefully he can go ahead and stay under that 9.5. If he breaks free for one, then unfortunately there's nothing we can do. But I really do like this play. So that's going to be our second play of the day. Ryan Tannehill under 9.5 rush yards versus Buffalo at -110 odds. Now for our third and final play of the day, I felt like I had to take a side. So we're rolling with the Vikings +2.5 here versus the Eagles at -115. And this one definitely could be a trap just because the Eagles, in my personal opinion, should not be favored. But I do not care. I do not care at all. The Vikings are coming off a 23-7 commanding win versus the Packers, and the Eagles, they had a shootout game versus the Lions. And I know the Lions, like I've been saying, they did look really good in these first 2 weeks, but they did have a shootout time game here versus the Lions, and I just think that the Vikings are going to be able to take care of business for sure. They have arguably the best wide receiver in football in Jay Jettas, Justin Jefferson, and they also still have Dalvin Cook, who is still a top running back in the NFL. So I just think that I don't know. I mean, I know that the Eagles did look pretty good. They were scoring a lot of points, but I just think that this Vikings team is just a little bit better, and they have Kirk Cousins. I know he's nothing too great, but he can definitely get the job done. He's a quarterback that can win you football games. So I just think that this line is a little bit weird. So if it's a trap, I'm all for it, but I can't force myself to put any money on the Eagles as a home favorite. So that is going to be our third and final play of the day. Vikings +2.5 versus the Eagles at -115 odds. So that is going to do it for today's video. If you guys did enjoy, make sure you guys do like, comment, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell so you guys know whenever I post. Like I said, we are still currently on the road to 7,000 subscribers. So if you guys are new, make sure that you guys are subbed. But that's going to do it for me. This is King Center signing out. Peace.